All right. Feels a little weird to do it again. That's okay. Welcome to the 50th. Woo! Yay! Let's see here. This month's word is apostasy, which the definition I have is a total desertion of or departure from one's religion, principles, party, cause, etc.
I was about to ask that. What is it? Look at all the bemused faces.
Yes.
Huh?
I like the word apostasy, and then after I announced it last month, and as the weeks went by, and the news kept updating me, I felt like the word ended up being more and more appropriate as we went on. Especially one morning, I heard about how there are a lot of refugees who are converting to Christianity, so that way they can ensure safety, not have to go back, so that way they're okay. And that really got to me when I heard that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now there's a lot of people who don't want to allow specifically Muslim Syrians, and it's like, and that so it made me think of all those refugees who are converting, and I thought, how sad is it that you are giving up a faith that you've had your whole life, that you believed in? How sad is that? That for your safety,
Just to feel safe.
just to feel safe, and it has nothing to do with the religion. It has to do with those people and what they want to do, which is not. Doesn't support that religion whatsoever. I mean, that religion is not. It doesn't teach those things.
It's not about that.
Yeah, and according to Sharia law, if you convert from Muslim, then you are subject to death.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So they're risking their lives for their safety. So it's just I obviously didn't know that this was what happened. Was going to happen, and this word ended up being more appropriate than I could have ever thought to be. So, what?
I think you said don't say hope for.
I did not say hope for. Anyway, so I thought I'd just start that off. Also, the other thing I want to say is that remember, we do not have Drinking Ink in December. It will start back up in January, and it will be moved back to Tuesdays. Starting in January. That seems to be a lot much. Can't speak. A much easier day for people to make. The majority. Since we moved it to Wednesdays, this is a great turnout. There's a lot of people who keep telling me they can't make it. So
Jordan can't make it on. She's got a class on Wednesday night.
And Tom can't make it anymore. And we can't not have Tom.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's only been around for like a year and a half now, but it's like, I don't know, where's Tom? Like, he's an essential part.
Right.
So anyway, it'll be moved to Tuesdays from now on. All right, I'll move on to my cowboy poem. This is another one where I decided to pick it the day of. Last month that worked out swimmingly. It turned inappropriate real quick, but I don't think that will happen this time.
Well.
Hello, you're good. You okay?
All right.
You okay?
What's up? How are you?
Hey.
I know you.
This is Kristen. Everyone, Kristen. Okay. So, yeah, the last one got super inappropriate, so we'll, this one's pretty innocent. Like,
Try and tone it down a little bit.
yeah, I didn't mean to, because I just randomly picked it, and as I was reading, I was like, oh my god, it's just getting worse as I go.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah, things being wet, it just got bad real quick. And it had nothing to do with anything sexual, it just real quick got bad. Okay, so this one is called Old Tough, and it's by Georgie Sicking. Sicking.
Is he sick?
Sure, I have no idea. Is there anything about him? Let me see if I've got anything on old George here. Works a ranch near Fallon, Nevada, but grew up cowboying in Arizona. She,
That's right.
Georgie, takes great pride in her skills as a top hand with cattle.
Wow.
So this is a lady cowboy.
Not
Yeah.
she.
Lady cowboy, Georgie. I should have known it was.
Wouldn't it just be a cowgirl?
I prefer lady cowboy.
Lady cow. A cow person?
A cow.
Okay.
Yeah, how about that? Let's be as feminist as possible. Cow person.
I'm not
Cow
agreeing to that.
individuals.
I'm not
Anyway.
I'm not a coward.
Anyway, yeah. So this is Georgie Sicking, and this is called Old Tough. Tough is spelled Tuff. Okay. Very important that you know that, I think. Old Tough was a catch dog, used where manzanita and oak brush were thick. We used them on wild cattle. Some of their hides were slick. The homeliest dog I ever saw, with the crooked right foreleg, with the furry face of an Airedale and colored like the yolk of an egg. He wasn't ours, but followed a neighbor to our place one day. We used him a year before we returned him. The neighbor lived far away. We couldn't wait to take him to the Maverick country, for we couldn't figure how one small, ugly, yeller dog could catch and hold a cow. We soon jumped a long-eared yearling and headed for her at a lope. Jumping rocks and dodging brush, I had a loop built in my rope. Old Tough, he saw the yearling about the same time as us and headed right in after her, that nervy little cuss. He ran her up a canyon and across a low divide. I figured that he'd lose her when she hit the downhill side. We hurried up to catch her, our ponies at a run, but Tough had grabbed an ear and throwed her, the little son of a gun. The heifer got up and he held her still by an ear. She was so busy battling Tough, she let me right up near. I just put my rope on her head and then we tied her down. Put the FC brand on her hip. Tough was happy as a clown. During the year we branded many Mavericks, and I tried hard enough.
Yeah.
And I tried hard enough to be the first to catch a Maverick, but couldn't beat Old Tough. One day John came and took him, for he had long ears to brand. We thanked him for the use of Tough, a real brush hand.
Now in French.
That ended up being very cute. All right, Georgie. Thank you, Georgie.
Thank you, Georgie.
For those that don't know, I really love cowboy poetry. I've been exposed to an actual cowboy reciting poetry, and it's delightful.
Yes.
It is highly entertaining.
That's the word.
Yes, it's great, actually. So I've decided that every month.
Everything would have been different if you did the poke.
You know, I have a real. Just discussed a couple of minutes ago, or revealed. But I also, on the other hand, I have to say this about it. The Catholic Church gives more to the poor in 1 year than General Electric makes in profit. They are out there serving the poor every single day of the year. So there are those dedicated Catholics who do that. And yes, there is all that other stuff you talked about too. So I just thought, I'm not going to make anybody turn Catholic here, but just thought I'd mention that. Okay, so. Let me sing to you about my posse. Allow me to regale you with my story. We gather up in our playpen once a month on the third Wednesday at 7. There's no apostasy in our posse. We're just contrary by our nature being. Should say one say white, other will say black. Rhetorically, we're never one to stack. we ride, ride, ride upon a word. And we ride, ride, ride like a carrying herd. We ride, ride, ride upon a word. And the dictionary. There's no way you can escape from me. We're a mongrel band of poet gypsies. You will find we are quite stuffy. Our weapon is our traveling word from the dictionary. Now I've sung my story true. I now see, now I give to you. Show us what you got, give it loud. There's no apostasy in here, we love our crowd. And we ride, 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 ride like a carrying herd. We ride, ride, ride upon a word. From the dictionary.
It doesn't mean that he's my fiance. He's actually my husband.
Mazel tov!
For a few months now.
We haven't actually had a wedding. We're going to later on. We just went to the county clerk's office and got that done. We're going to save some money and actually have a wedding. My other announcement is that I'm actually starting up a YouTube channel called Culty the Panda, and I'm going to basically be doing a lot of do-it-yourself stuff with makeup, hair, a lot of gaming on there, and just do a bunch of fun things on there. So I'm going. If y'all have any do-it-yourself ideas, please send it to me because I'd like to show it on my channel. I'm going to be putting up the first video sometime before next Monday. Hopefully, I can get a good editing program before then. But if y'all have any old recipes for a facial mask or something like that, go ahead and send it to me, and I will show it on my channel.
Do we have your, I mean, I don't have any stuff like
I
that.
can put it on the event
I
thing.
have her email.
You have, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we need, yeah.
And y'all can get it from there, and then I'll send y'all the link to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, because we want to see it.
So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
And now we see why you're wearing earrings. She has the ring, he has the
Exactly.
ring.
Completely different in mind to do tonight, and I'm still going to, but I will extend just a little more by just saying that last night, I generally don't care to watch the program Frontline on PBS for certain reasons. I feel that sometimes they're objective and sometimes they're not. Anyway, but they did present this report last night. It was ISIS in Afghanistan, and it showed actual footage of these guys teaching children how to kill and hold the weapons and the whole works. And I was stunned because I've been teaching 5th graders, and I'm just like, wow. And how the kids I teach, well, maybe some of them at home are, messing around with guns. I'm sure some of them are, but the point is that what really bothers me about all of this is that we all need to get beyond it somehow, some way. It's very difficult because we're presented one bit of information which makes us react, and they're enduring another whole span of things. And it's difficult because we don't grasp fully that they too are going through great suffering from our own invasions of their territories for certain wealthy, powerful individuals who've taken over those regions of the planet for our benefit.
Right.
And so there's tremendous death and killing going on over there that we have no concept of. So therefore, it's an angry reaction that comes back at us. And we go, how could they do this to us? Now, I don't agree with what they're doing, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. And I'm just going to stop there because I can go on, as my daughter well knows, and I think some of you here know.
I know the best.
But, you know, it's difficult. It's very difficult. So, back to the original theme of tonight. Apostasy. Wow, you know, this really kind of gets in deep for me personally too, because I've been through all kinds of routes in my own spiritual life through my lifetime, and I'm still struggling with that. So I definitely have dove into my spiritual practices through the years, whether it be Orthodox Christianity or Buddhism or Hinduism or Wicca, or whatever the case may be. But what I have learned is that, you know, there's something that runs throughout the entire thing if we're just willing to be open to listen to it. And I'll stop there with that. So, at the age of 19, I was going through a lot of stuff at the time, and Genesis with Peter Gabriel was, you know, for me, they were the gods of the time. And of course, at that time, the thing that proved to me the existence of this energy that we call God was having done psychedelics that just kind of opened up a door to me. And I mean, I can't even begin to explain any of that right now. But so there's this song by Genesis with Peter Gabriel having done the lyrics called The Chamber of 32 Doors. And I think it relates somewhat to this idea of apostasy, where you're struggling to, you know, there's this idea that let's throw away all the tradition because of all the negativity, but at the same time, is it all negative? Really? No, it's not. Not all of it. I mean, a lot of it is horrible, but a lot of it isn't, you know, so there's good and bad in everything. So anyway, so I'm going to do my best to read these lyrics, although with the song and the music, naturally, the message is much more powerful and potent, but I'll read my best. And then after that, I'd like to present this piece of music, which I'll go into in a little bit. At the top of the stairs, there's hundreds of people running around to all the doors. They try to find themselves an audience. Their deductions need applause. The rich man stands in front of me, the poor man behind my back. They believe they can control the game, but the juggler holds another pack. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I'd rather trust a countryman than a town man. You can judge by his eyes, take a look if you can. He'll smile through his guard, survival trains hard. I'd rather trust the man who works with his hands. He looks at you once, you know he understands. Don't need any shield when you're out in the field. But down here, I'm so alone with my fear, with everything that I hear. And every single door that I've walked through brings me back here again. I've got to find my own way. The priest and the magician singing all the chants that they have ever heard. They're all calling out my name, even academics, searching printed word. My father to the left of me, my mother to the right. Like everyone else, they're pointing, but nowhere feels quite right. And I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I'd rather trust a man who doesn't shout what he's found. Sorry if I'm too loud. There's no need to sell if you're homeward bound. If I choose a side, he won't take me for a ride. But back inside this chamber of so many doors, I've nowhere to hide. I'd give you all of my dreams if you'd help me find a door that doesn't lead me back again. Take me away. Now that's, you know, that's Peter Gabriel from a long time ago. And during that time, he was leaving Genesis, actually. That was Last album. You don't like it, huh? I'm sorry.
He likes it too much. It's more. Yeah, I think.
Last name is Smith.
Yes, sir. That's me.
Okay, Miss Smith, can you tell me your name, please? I think there must be a misprint here.
No, that's how you spell my name. It's spelled with a comma to the top. You know, there's one in a don't between the N and the T, the little comma to the top. Anyway, so it's comma to the top, then C-E-E. Apostasy. I know it's a little different, but evidently my mom heard that a lot while she was at a convent studying to be a nun when she got pregnant with me. Anyways, I guess the nun thing didn't work out because now she's a high priestess in the local Wiccan chapter.
I write now, everybody will know I was the last.
Sure. All right. Let's see. You are a shameful coward, she said to me. How's that? I replied. You've abandoned all your beliefs. It's apostasy. What? Just because I stopped drinking? I quarreled. Yes. You were an alcoholic when we got together, and now you're no fun.
Aww.
But if I leave you, is that apostasy? It's just a change. No shame in that. Just brightness with alcohol. With alcohol. But don't be scared. I don't know who wrote this, but it's funny. Don't be scared. Things change. People change. You learn new things. Don't be scared. Time has a way of taking time. And that time changes us as we wait for the things we want to come to us. Sometimes when we finally get them, it is no longer what we need. Change is constant true. I hope that's the word. Some change is best to improve the best of you. If your fun was only in a bottle, then you have chosen well to leave it behind. Fun can be found in everyday life. It's all in your perspective. And even that can change. Don't sweat the small stuff. And practice smiling in the mirror before you start your day. It is believed that science is fact, that it is truth. For those who believe in science, the universe can be defined through observation and analysis. Yet, what many do not consider is that the variety of science depends on the verity. That's what she said. Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Yet, what many do not consider is that the verity of science depends on the assumption that the universe unfolds through such a course, though countless marvels exist. Through the development of science, so have magics and wondrous things grown from its brother and sister faiths. But mistake not, it is a faith like any other commitment of the mind. Pounding in my head, drowning out all my thoughts, my emotions are taking over. Tears are flowing down my cheeks. I see him in the distance, the man I once loved, and if he were living, I would love him still. He was driving down a dark and bumpy road and flipped his car, then his blood spilled from his head and he was dead.
Well, that's pretty abrupt.
Based on the laughter coming from over there, I think it was...
That was James Dean.
It was the Downton Abbey scene.
Spoiler!
So now I see him pointing the way. He wants me to be happy again. He wants me to love again. He wants me to turn back to God, to end my apostasy once and for all. We could end it all with one swift word. Wearing a new set of beliefs as our armor, thin as paper, and our pens mightier than any sword, we can sway you with a metaphor and kill you with a smile. Or simile, I can't tell.
It better. Simile would be good.
Well, I think it's simile, but the
Speak up, writer.
Said metaphor earlier.
I know.
Says vagina.
I did a quick scansion in my head.
I
It's
will.
simile.
I'll. You need to calm down. We can sway you with the metaphor and kill you with the simile. Well,
That doesn't make sense.
can I finish the last two? Mine? Can you let me do that? Can you let me finish?
How long have you been married
I'm just
now?
gonna. All in here.
Across the university.
It's already started.
I'm gonna reread this section without an Evans interruption.
Uh-oh.
Well, technically this is an Evans interruption.
It is. We can end it all with one swift word, wearing a new set of beliefs as our armor thinnest paper, and our pens mightier than any sword. We can sway you with a metaphor and kill you with a simile. Well, kill your way of thinking at least.
Wow.
Mm.